Welcome, everybody. My name is Morty Oberstein. I'm the head of SEO branding at Wix, and we have a wonderful webinar for you today. It's actually a treat. Normally, when you talk about SEO product or product in general, you usually have some marketing people like myself talking about the product and relating about the product. But in this case, we have something pretty unique for you. We have two of the actual people who worked on our SEO development, not just this year, but previous years, to talk to you about what we've done around SEO tool capability development in 2022. I'm really excited about it. We've done a lot of things, and we'll offer you a little bit of a sneak peek at 2023. Before we dive into it, I'm going to hand it over to Crystal to walk you through just the formatting of the webinar today.
Thank you, Morty. So just in case anyone's wondering, yes, this webinar is being recorded. And yes, you will be sent a YouTube link. You will also be sent it via email. You will also be able to access it on YouTube, whatever you like after the email. And we will also have information about the webinar on the Wix SEO Learning Hub, which is at wix.com/SEO/learn. That's where you can find information about this webinar, and you can also find information about past webinars and also about our upcoming webinars in 2023. If you have any questions for the panel during the event, please make sure to use the Q&A panel, which is at the bottom of the screen, and we will try to answer as many as we can during the session. We will also, if you don't get your question asked straight away, we will also be collecting sort of thematic questions if people are asking similar questions around similar things, and we will be addressing them at the end of the session as well. So please be ready with those. We always have a really lively Q&A session, so thank you for joining us there. And then if I can move on to the actual things we're going to be talking about today. We will be joined by myself, Morty Oberstein, Nati Elimelech, who is our head of SEO, and also by Einat, who is going to be discussing our SEO product. She's our SEO product lead and does amazing things there. And we are going to cover lots of things about what happened this year, and we're also going to talk about what's going to be happening next year. So we're going to recap some of our greatest hits from our recent releases. We're also going to talk about some of the newer features you might have seen in the last few months. There's been quite a few updates in the last couple of months, so we're going to cover those. And we're also going to give you a little teaser of things that are coming to come, and we're going to get to the Q&A. So with that, I'd like to introduce Nati Elimelech, who is our head of SEO, and who's going to talk to you all about the ways that we address SEO at Wix.
Thank you, Crystal. Wow, so many people. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Some of you, it's early morning, some it's midday, some it's night. So thank you for joining us. That means you care, and we like that. However, this is way too many people for me, so I'm going home. No, but really, thank you. My name is Nati. I'm head of SEO at Wix, and I'm joined by the amazing, the talented Einat, our product lead. And Einat will be the major voice here today. But before that, an intro. So I think or hope many of you are aware of the tools and the features we've released for the past year, even the past couple of years. A lot of tools, a lot of updates. But before we go into the highlights, I want to explain a little bit about our focus and where we invest our resources and why we do that. So most of you already know that you can pretty much customize all the SEO related settings across Wix, almost everywhere. But that's not really enough, is it? Like, I get it. I've been there. I used to manage a large SEO agency here before I joined Wix, and we know you're busy, and we know you have a lot of things you need to do for your clients, and clients can be extremely demanding of your time. So one of our major focuses was and will be on making your lives easier when it comes to SEO, right? We want you to be able to do whatever you want, but we also want to make it easier and efficient and time-saving, because ultimately you're a business. And this way you can get more done for your clients, or you can take on more clients, or you can go to the beach if you have a beach. But we really wanted to make everything easier, not just in Wix, but compared to other places across the web. So today we'll go over, and that's important to understand, we'll go over the highlights of what we've released in 2022. There have been so many things that we've done when it comes to SEO, from products and features that we worked on to also things that we worked on with other teams in Wix to make their products and their apps SEO friendlier. So we can't touch on everything. There isn't enough time, but know that these are just the highlights and things we thought you should be aware of. After that, as Crystal mentioned, we'll give you a sneak peek into some of the cool stuff we are going to release like in the recent days and weeks and in 2023. If I can say so myself, we have amazing plans for 2023. I think you're going to love them. And again, that is going to be just a taste of what we have planned for 2023. So without any further ado, Einat, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Einat. I'm the product lead for SEO here at Wix, and I'm really excited to see all of you here. So I'm going to walk you through about the main thing that we did in 2022. So let's start. One of the product that we released a few months ago was the auto redirects. It seems small, it's just this new toggle, this little toggle that you see under the slug, but it's it's extremely meaningful one. Every time you change a slug on a page, you will see this little toggle, or in Auditor, it will be a checkbox that is automatically on, telling you that we will create an automatic redirect from the old slug to the new slug, saving you time and efforts and helping you avoid 404 pages and loss of SEO power. Just a little anecdote about what we did, why we did it, because up until now, we used to have like a little message underneath it. Every time we identify you change a slug, we had a message telling you, okay, go to the URL redirect manager and create this redirect. But when we checked it, we saw that around 4% clicked on it or created a redirect. So we understood it as a huge issue here, that we can save a lot of trouble for our users, for the Wix users. So we created this new feature. And up until now, since it was released a few months ago, we already created more than 400,000 redirects, which is massive. And it means that we save so much errors and loss of SEO power for our users. So it's a really exciting one for us. Another thing that we did in 2022 is we focus on expanding our structured data offering. I'm sure you probably know that we have predefined structured data for certain page types out of the box. For example, if you have a store and a product pages, you already have automatically, we create for you structured data for product pages. So you don't need to write any code and you don't need to deal with this. It's already automatically added for all your pages. But we also believe in full customization. So we released this option to add any custom data that you want to any page that you want. If you want to add it, you just need to go to the page that you want the structured data to. If you want to add the structured data, open the SEO panel and go to the advanced tab, and then you can click on add new markup. This screen will open and you can add any syntax of markup that you want. And of course, you can play with it. You will have a validation and you can add anything you want. Another thing that we did in the structured data world is that we added a predefined structured data markups for the homepage. So the first one was citing a search box. If you're using, if you have the search app installed on your site, you will automatically get the citing search box structured data markup on your homepage. And this will make your site eligible to get the search box in the search result page. Another one that we did also for the homepage is the local business structured data. And this is for the ones of you that has local businesses. So if you added a local address in your business info of the site, we identify it and we automatically create for you local business structured data markup on the homepage. It's very important for your local SEO strategy. Of course, all of those structured data, you can hide them, you can create your own, it's fully customizable. Those, of course, are being added to all the predefined out-of-the-box structured data that we have for different pages. For example, we have the article for blog post, we have product for product pages, Q&A for forum, event, images for portfolio, and many more.
What's interesting about all the structured data markup work that we've done, I've seen it a few times where Google has released an update and made new requirements to the markup so that you appear on the results page as a rich result, where we've already incorporated that previously into the markup that we automatically create, meaning that you literally, as a site owner, you literally had to do nothing in order to be aligned with the new requirements to appear as a rich result, when in theory, there was the potential where you would have had to gone through and update thousands upon thousands of your pages in order to align. One of the great things about the work that you've been doing is you end up automatically aligning without having to do much of anything, if anything at all.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that a lot of businesses will really benefit from saving that time and from being, you know, ahead of the pack with regards to being competitive. So it's a really great feature that I'm sure a lot of people are grateful for, and it's great to see more results on Google Shopping and on rich results in other spaces.
Yeah, because with the product market that we create automatically, now you're eligible to appear within Google Shopping automatically. Bonus.
Absolutely. Let's move on to other things that we did. We added images in sitemap. So right now, your sitemap has all the images are being added dynamically to your sitemaps, helping Google understand more your visual content. And this is kind of aligning with the focus that Google is putting lately on visual search as well. Our plan for next is to add also videos for the sitemaps, also automatically. And other than all of this, we are continue always to add Wix apps to the SEO setting defaults, which is the structures that you can define for your pages. We added the Google Post lately, and also the Wix Portfolio, which is a new Wix app that you can use. So they are all integrated in the SEO setting default, so you can create structures for those type of pages. And soon we're going to add also the stores categories, which is a big deal. Let's talk about something big. Another big thing that happened is our integration with SEMrush. We partner with SEMrush, which is one of the leading tools to perform keyword research. We integrated with the keyword research tool, and now you can perform the keyword research within our product, within the platform, in the SEO checklist. You can choose any keyword that you want. You can analyze it and add it to your SEO checklist, and it will automatically be added to the SEO checklist. And I think the important thing to say is that it's free, that even if you don't have a SEMrush account, you are eligible for 10 free searches a day. So you can really start exploring and building your SEO strategy with this. So let's see how it works. So it's in the SEO setup checklist in the settings part. So you can click here on SEMrush and click on Get the App. And then you go through an installation process that you need to connect SEMrush with Wix. Pay attention that you don't need to go to the app market in order to install the app. It's already here within the product. So once you got the application, you can see here the keywords that you already added to your SEO setup checklist, and you can analyze them, or you can analyze new keywords. You will get a list with your keyword and related keywords to this search, and you can see the search volume, how many users search for it, the trend, the difficulty to rank, and the search intent. So you can choose the best keyword for your pages on the site. You can check whatever keywords that you want and click apply, and they are automatically being added to your checklist, which is really cool. Right now it's in the settings of the SEO setup checklist, but we are planning to add it in a lot of other places. For example, in the setup checklist onboarding, when you start to look for the keywords, and also in the panels. So there will be more about this coming up.
And one of the great things is that when you set up that account through Wix to connect to SEMrush, you're now eligible. You're now set up at the same time a freemium account on SEMrush itself. So if you went over to SEMrush, you can use all of the free tools they have as part of their freemium model as well. So two birds with one stone.
Absolutely. And I think one of the great things about these tools is that while people are learning to use them, we have a great set of documentation. So this webinar, the deck for this webinar will also be shared. So we're going through a lot of things really, really quickly, but within the deck, there are links to pages that will show you exactly how to implement any of the things that we're talking about, and we'll show you exactly how to use them on your website as well. So so that particular tool, the SEMrush tool, is amazing, and there's some great tutorials there. There's a whole tutorial that Morty's done that talks you exactly through how to use it, and it also explains to you some of the ways that you can use it to help your website overall.
Great. And of course, this also adds to other apps that you have in the app market that you can use for SEO for your audits, which is, for example, DeepCall, which is now known as Luma, and Uberall, and you can use them as well when you do your SEO. So let's move to another really, really cool tool that we built, if I may say so, is the site inspection tool. Kind of in the beginning of the year, Google released their URL inspection API, which allows you to check the index status of your site pages. As you probably know, in Google Search Console, you can inspect one URL at a time. I can inspect one URL, get the index status, and then I have to do it for another URL and another URL. So what we did, we wrote the first CMS to integrate with this API, and we took this and improved the experience a bit. So with a click of a button, you can inspect all your site pages as opposed to one by one in Google Search Console. So you get the index status for all your pages at once. And also you can get an overview, what you see, the section that you see on top, an overview of your site index status. Let's see how it works. So at the top, you have the highlight section, which gives you the overview of your site index status, how many pages are indexed or non-indexed, excluded, etc. And you can see the top status details for your pages and your mobile visibility. And in the table below, you can see all your pages and their index status. You can see, first of all, the page type, which is important to identify, and the status and why, the mobile usability, the reach result, if there's an issue in the reach result. If you click on a page, you will have this panel with further information about when it was called, by which bot it was called, sitemap, canonical, and if you have issues, you will see them here. Let's look for a page with an issue, for example. Here I have a problem with the mobile usability, and I can see exactly what is the problem. So this tool helps you identify indexation issues on your site and fix them easily.
And this was a really big deal in the SEO space, as opposed to having to submit URLs to the API and then pull them back. We're automatically sending the URLs to Google so that you get the data back automatically. It really is. I feel like the API was built for this, and it really does help you get a really good understanding of how Google's crawling and indexing your site. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see Google get, and I think I've already have seen Google get a little bit pickier in what it chooses to actually index. So having this available to you right inside of the Wix dashboard can be super helpful to you.
It's super helpful for addressing those issues like very, very quickly. I think, Morty, you've done a thread on your Twitter account where you showed how you were able to use this information to troubleshoot a page and to make sure that you were getting it the visibility that you expected it to have.
Yeah, I literally looked at the tool. I saw, hey, wait a second, there's a whole bunch of pages that were crawled but not indexed. I went to look at those pages. I found a common theme with those pages. The headings were kind of all not clear. I could have done a better job. Shoemaker's kids go shoeless. Once I fixed that, resubmitted to Google, they were indexed and have stayed in the index since then. So it seems that was the issue. And I owe that to Einat and Nati in their integration of the site inspection tool.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome.
To help. Another very important feature, I think, for SEO, especially professional SEOs, is the SEO settings page editing. We recently released it, like I guess a month ago, something like this, and it's changing the edit experience. Up until now, when you wanted to edit SEO meta tags, you had to go to the page, open the SEO panel, change whatever you wanted, and go to another page, open the panel, change whatever you wanted, and so forth. Now you can do it all at once in the SEO settings. If you know, the SEO settings used to be called patterns until now, and you can define there the structures for your pages. So now you have a new tab that calls edit by product or edit by page. When you can see all your pages at once, this is first that you can audit and review everything at once in one glimpse, and you can edit everything from over there in one place. This is another step in our mission to save you time and support professional workflows, making it easy and scalable for you. So where can you find it? You go to SEO settings. It's right now open for main pages and for product pages, and soon we will roll out for every other page type. And you click on edit by product or edit by main page, and you can see this table. Let's see how it works. So I click on the edit by page, and I see all my pages. I can see the indexation, indexable status. I can see if a meta description is missing, for example. It's a view that allows me this. I can add a meta description. I can set the page to be indexed. I can edit everything else as well from the panel. The advanced structured data, robots, meta tags, social, everything that I want, I can do it from here in the panel in a much easier way.
Double switching between editor pages.
No, I love this feature. It's absolutely amazing. And you can see everything sort of lined out. And also you can organize things by alphabetical order. So you can organize all of your pages by the meta titles, or all of them by the meta descriptions, and you can see whether or not you've got meta descriptions that are super long or super short. You can also, because we have the SEO defaults, you can set a pattern for all of your pages. And you can also, because of that tab, you can say, okay, this pattern doesn't work for that page, but it does work for 7 of the pages. So I'll just update that one page, and then I can move forward. It's super useful. We've got an article on the SEO Hub that talks through how you can use it as well. I love it. I think it's great. It's like one of my favorite things.
And I think it all speaks to where we're kind of going as a product, where we're trying to make it easier if you're managing a large site or multiple sites, where you now, again, like you mentioned, you don't have to bounce between the editor and the dashboard. It's all there. It's time saving, it's efficient, and it does make working at scale a heck of a lot easier. And I think that's kind of like, if you look thematically, a lot of the things that we're doing and have done, and I think as we're going to find out in a few minutes what we're doing, is going to be making things easier for you to do and saving you time, as Nati mentioned. And means if you're working with a larger site, it's going to be a lot easier.
Absolutely. And we're going to add some more capabilities for this, for especially when you're working in scale. For example, we're going to add bulk editing ability, which means you can choose a few pages and set and make an action for all those pages. Let's, for example, set no index for all of them. And so it will be even better.
This is by far the best feature we've released, I think, in the past couple of years.
And another thing that we wanted to talk about, which is not an SEO tool, but it's very important for SEO, and it is a tool at the end, is the site speed dashboard. Speed is now official ranking factor, and here at Wix we have a dedicated team that put all their efforts on improving the performance of Wix sites. And one of the products that they release is the site speed dashboard. You can find it in analytics and reports, and then site speed in the business manager menu. And the dashboard will show you the site's current loading speed and the core web vital performance for desktop and for mobile, different views based on your actual visitor, what they are actually experiencing, and based on Google page speed simulation, which is kind of a lab condition. You can use it as a benchmark for average speed against similar sites, troubleshoot loading time, and get tips for improving your core web vitals, which will help you rank better at the end.
And what's amazing about this is that I know Chris is going to say, because it's the same point. We're both like super excited about this. To see core web vital field data, meaning what your users are actually experiencing on Google's properties, you need to have a certain traffic threshold in order to have access to that information. Otherwise, Google doesn't give it to you. But here, and I'm pretty sure I feel safe saying this, I think it's the only place on the web where you have this. You have field data for your core web vitals without the traffic threshold. We're giving it to you without saying like, oh, you have to hit this number of user visits in order to have access to this data, like you often have, say, with Search Console and so forth. Here, we're giving it to you without any threshold. You have access to the data. You don't have to guess what your users are actually experiencing if you don't meet those traffic thresholds that you see inside of Search Console and so forth.
So I had a test site that had 17 visits, and I had the lab, like I had the field data for those 17 visits, and I was able to say like that you know, in that time I saw an improvement. So this is really good if you're testing whether or not your improvements have worked if you're using, even if you have a bigger traffic site, then you have to wait in Google Search Console for like 28 days before you have confirmation that what you did actually worked. Whereas with this new data, you can maybe test it on Monday and you can check it on Tuesday to see, like, based on your real user data to see if what you did made an improvement, and maybe go back and make any adjustments. It's a fantastic tool. It works really well with our Google Search Console information from the SEO side. It's really great.
Okay, so that was our 2022. It was really the highlights. We really talked between us and said, should we mention this or this or this? And we said, we don't have time to mention everything. So we just wanted to show you the big thing that has happened. And now I want to show you what we plan for 2023.
Hang on. Let's keep them let's draw this out.
No.
No?
No one really likes suspense.
Are you ready? All right, fine.
So our beautiful new SEO dashboard, which will be released pretty soon. Up until now, we used to have the SEO tools, which you all know. And now instead of this, we will have the new SEO dashboard. The tools will still be there. You see them at the bottom of the screenshot. The tools will be there as you know them, but you will have a lot more. We believe that we want to help Wix users to take the next step to understanding their SEO, not just giving you the tools, but also helping you understand more how your site is doing and what you need to do next. So we built this new SEO dashboard in which you will see a lot more information, and I will going to show you what it's built of. So the first part of it is the SEO setup checklist, which you already know. You will have this widget that will show you the progress. It will look a bit different depending on your progress, if you started already or if you advance in the SEO checklist completion. So you can see where you're at and what you need to, and you can complete the setup checklist. Another thing that you will see is to your right, there will be a list of articles about SEO to help you learn the SEO. Those articles are tailored for you based on how you use our SEO tools and your site performance. So you will see things, it will evolve together with you and with your site, and the level of the articles that you will see here. And those are all articles from our SEO Learning Hub, which I hope you all know, because it's an amazing place to learn and educate yourself about SEO. It contains content about everything you need to know about SEO in general, not related to Wix, just to learn SEO. And you can find an article that has been written by the best SEO professional out there, videos, and so much more. So I'm strongly recommended that regardless, go to the SEO Learning Hub and see what's there. Another very important feature that you will have there is the site performance on Google section. This is actually data on your site that you will see from Google Search Console. This is real-time data for Google Search Console, which is also very important because a lot of times you won't see this data in Google Search Console. And you can see here the impression and the clicks and the change compared to the previous period that it shows. In addition, underneath this graph that you see, you will see here insights about the most meaningful changes that you had on your pages or on your queries. For example, you can see the page that had the biggest increase or decrease, and you can filter it by impression or by clicks. And this will make it easier for you to identify potential irregularities or issues, which should help you troubleshoot things a lot more easier. It should surface you the issues. So this is the version 1 of the new SEO dashboard that will help you understand how your site is doing, but we have so much more planned for this. I showed you right now about how your site is doing, but we know that identifying the issues on your site and understanding what to do next is one of the most time-consuming tasks in the optimization process. So we want to help with that. Our vision for the SEO dashboard that it will be the one place for you to go and to understand what's going on in SEO and what you need to do next. We will surface for you the data and actionable insights from our internal tools and in the future also external tools, helping you understand the issues on your site and how to fix them. This is, of course, what I show you now is just a mock-up. It's not the way it will look, but I wanted to present the feeling of what you will see there. You will see issues that you have on your site, whether it's technical issues like you have 15 broken links, or data from our internal tool from the site inspection that I showed you before. I can tell you how many non-index pages that you have and you can fix them. Missing meta tags, anything else, anything that I know, I can surface here and tell you what is the issue, and we will also show you how you can fix it. Where is the issue, what you need to do, and guide you towards the solution. In general, and this is something that is important for us to say, we want third parties to integrate with this dashboard and in general with Wix. So we will continue and opening our platform to third parties, so you will be able to use your favorite tool inside our platform. So this will be built for this.
Yeah, but this is, okay, people don't get too excited. This is down the line during 2023. The new home has partially rolled out and is being rolled out over I think the coming week. All the things that require your attention, that's a lot of work. We don't have a release date for that. We want it to be perfect. And so when it's done, it's done. It's during 2023, but we can't give you a date for that, but it will happen.
It will. And another thing I want to show you is Google Search Console reports in Wix, in the analytics reports that we have inside Wix. I showed you before in the SEO new dashboard, the performance widget, which shows Google Search Console data, but you will also have the ability to perform in-depth analysis on those kind of data in the reports that will be added in the report section of Wix. So you will find right now it's 4 reports, there may be more, and you can analyze your keywords or your queries based on everything, like you can perform filters with a device, geolocation, you can perform analysis for a group of keywords, compare previous period, and so much more. So you will have these reports, you can access them through the analytics and reports, or through the widget that I show you in the SEO dashboard. You will have links to the dedicated report, and you can really, if you identified an issue, you can really like go deep and understand what is exactly the issue and fix it. And I think the one last thing that we will add, and this is also like a vision for 2023, is adding the ability to add a keyword per page and optimization tips per page. This is part of our efforts to help optimize your site. We will add the option to perform keyword research and choose the keyword per page and get an optimization tip based on it. Again, saving time and effort and making the optimization process a lot more scalable and faster. So stay tuned. So this is it in terms of our vision for 2023, really a glimpse of what we vision, how it will be. But I also want to mention a few things that should really guide you in the SEO process in Wix. We have the SEO Learning Hub, which I mentioned before, which has tons of knowledge and articles and videos and everything you need to know about SEO. And also we have the Step Up podcast by Crystal and Modi, which are amazing. Just fun to hear, just fun to listen.
Never heard of them. Never heard of them. No idea.
They're a fun bunch. You'll like them, Nati. But
so this is also highly recommended.
Hard to disagree with that.
It's true. And one last thing that we are planning is adding a SEO certification as partners that do SEO. Right now, you know, everyone can do SEO, but we want to identify the ones that really know how to do SEO and get them certification and help you get more SEO projects.
Yeah, but the most important part here that if we don't put it out for some reason, blame Mordi. Okay?
Anything, blame Mordi.
I am working on it as we speak. So down the line, somewhere in the mystery that is 2023, keep your eyes peeled. I would say more towards the later part of 2023.
Good. So this was us, what we did and what we're planning. And let's move to the questions.
All right, let's have a look at what we have for the questions. First off, thank you very much, Einat. That was amazing. I'm super proud to be part of this, even just a small part of this. And I think the work that you all have done over on the SEO team has been, and development team has been absolutely amazing. Some of the themes that I've been seeing is, how do these tools help you do the features we released in 2022? How do they help you do better on-page SEO? So
I take that. Who's taking
not
that?
to go for it. Start it.
Just point to the person. So how did the features we released help you do on-page SEO? So first of all, I think we all, and some of you in the chat definitely realize that SEO is very complex. There isn't just one thing you need to do in order to succeed at SEO. Now, first of all, the ability to edit all the meta tags and to customize the structured data, and to do that using the SEO settings in bulk and efficiently, that's a big plus. But I have to say, we're going to do a lot of things, but when it comes to on-page SEO, a big part of that is quality content and relevant content, and content that answers your searcher's intent. And honestly, that's up to you in a lot of ways. We can give you the tools, we can save you time, we can make it efficient, we can make it fun, we can, work on doing SEO like being easier as possible. But we do that so you can focus on creating good content. We don't plan on doing that for you. Yes, there's AI content generation and stuff like that. No, that's up to you. You need to do your research, and you need to produce quality content. There's no tool that will replace that. And so I feel there are many features and tools that we gave you to make it easier to do that. But that's the hard part, right? And I don't. It's not going to get easier. You just need to invest time and research in this.
So I'll say this as Nati addresses his cat. I love content. I come from the content side of SEO. So I don't want to go too far down the wormhole. We're talking about the product here, but I feel I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up and talk about this. The best thing you can do for your website, yes, you can use the editor, the dashboard we have to edit by page and update your title tags and meta descriptions and all those kind of things. The best thing you can do is think about what your audience needs, or really understand, empathize with who your target audience is, their life situation, their life context, and how you can create answers and solutions that really address in very specific terms those user needs. And that really covers the whole thing. The classic example that I like to give is, I'm a big baseball nut, which Nat likes to make fun of me about. But if I go to Yankees game, Google will pretty much offer me now results of where I can get tickets to buy a seat to a baseball game. That's going to change going forward, and I think your users are looking for a lot more than that. And when you type in "go to a game," well, let's say you're a tourist from another country, there's a lot of things you need to know about transportation. You need to know about how expensive it is in neighborhoods. All these contextual things that users need to know. That's going to be the wave of the future for SEO. So if you can predict what your users are going to need and the information they're going to need, and really create content that specifically answers those needs, that's the best thing you can do for SEO. And then, of course, follow it up with the optimization of your title text, meta descriptions, and headers, and so forth. I just feel I had to say that.
Yeah,
and I think that
thank you,
there's a lot
Modi,
of,
for answering your own question.
Thank you.
and I think there's a lot of great tools where you're able to see and compare and make good decisions about your content. So like the edit by page feature is a great dashboard where you can see a lot of your content without having to get an external tool. A lot of times if you want to do something like that, you need to get an external tool to be able to crawl and extract and things like that. So to be able to see it in Wix and to be able to action it in Wix is a really, really great feature that can help you to move forward with your SEO.
So another question that I've seen brought up is, one, is there a guide to SEO that we offer, and are the SEO tools free? Let's start with, are the SEO tools we offer free?
Yes, they are. They are all
Great.
free for your use.
I'm glad we settled that. Is there a guide to SEO? Yes, on the SEO Hub, the Wix SEO Learning Hub, there's a complete guide to Wix SEO. It's right there under the section for SEO tools. You'll find it there as one of the links there. We update that quarterly. So the tools released last quarter will be updated in the next coming weeks. But other than that, it's pretty up to date. I think it's missing just one or two things that we talked about here, but they will be updated in the next week or so, or 2 or 3 weeks. Next question. This one speaks to performance. There's been some questions about what Wix does for you automatically, which we do a lot of things for you automatically, like we automatically compress your image and so forth. But what are some of the things that you as a user can do to improve your core web vitals and your performance on your Wix website? And I'm going to go with Crystal because she's smiling already.
Yeah, so this is something that I've done a lot on. So I've personally optimized Wix websites for performance, and there's a lot of things that you can do. One of the things is to make sure that you have the settings enabled correctly. Make sure that you've got things mobile optimized for mobile. Something that happens a lot with people is that they will have overlapping elements. Now, if you have an overlapping element for a design feature, if you've decided to do that, that's your decision. But if you have some overlapping the overlapping elements that are outside of the margin, then that can sometimes affect when you're doing your loading things. Another great tip that a lot of people don't realize, though, is fonts. So when you have a Wix website, you can set the fonts for your theme. And if you set the fonts for your theme and stick to those fonts and do not turn your website into a ransom note, and you stick to those fonts, then they will preload before they'll be added to the preload. They'll be added to like the sort of, the preloading server queue, so that when people log onto the site they don't have to wait for the fonts to load. If you add additional fonts onto your website, then that can slow down when everything is rendered. But if you add the fonts into your theme and you stick to the fonts of your theme, then that can help have a big impact on performance. One of the other things that I bet you can think about is the order of things. So it might be, maybe if you've got a big image, maybe you've got a big video, maybe you don't need a big video on your homepage. Maybe you don't need to have the video in the top part of the fold. Sometimes it works really well. But one of the things that can happen sometimes, and I've seen this with users on various different CMSs, not just on Wix, but sometimes users in different communities might not even want to watch the video because the data costs too much, or it might be the case that the video takes a long time to load and people are scrolling past it anyway. And sometimes I've seen it on other CMSs where the video didn't even load at all. So make sure that you're checking your website on mobile and that you're optimizing for mobile. The other thing I would say about performance is that you don't have to optimize every single page for performance. With regards to Core Web Vitals, you have to make sure that you have 75% of your users having a good page experience. So if 75% of your users, for instance, are going to 5 pages across your website, which is more than possible, then those are the pages you should concentrate on. If you have other pages, like maybe you have a whole video gallery that like is a couple of pages deep, and then maybe that's don't worry so much about the Core Web Vitals there, because anybody who goes there has the intent of watching a video. So think about which pages you're optimizing, think about which elements you're adding to your page, and lean into some of the features. The page speed dashboard, which is in the reporting section of your Wix dashboard, will give you some advice and will give you tips. So there's tips that are in there, and then there's also links to tell you to do more. And it's a great tool, and it's a great dashboard.
Amazing answer. There's been a bunch of questions about indexing, which is a hot topic in the SEO world right now to begin with. But being that we have the integration with Google's Search Console URL Inspection API, what happens if you see pages that are not being indexed by Google? What should you do? Einat?
I will let Nati answer this. Answer better than me.
Thank you, Einat. Crystal? So if we're talking about indexing, I think it's important to realize that not every page is index worthy, and you shouldn't necessarily want every page on your site indexed. For example, if you have blog archives that basically display your posts by months, that's a page that Google usually wouldn't index because it doesn't provide any real value over other pages on your website. So whenever you see a page that's not indexed, first, hold on for a moment, don't panic, and ask yourself, is that page index worthy? Meaning, is it unique enough? Does it have enough content, enough good content for Google to consider indexing it? Because indexation of pages is not a given. You need to earn that. And you need to make it worthwhile for Google to index your pages. So some of them, that's fine, right? But if you actually created a blog post that you feel is unique and rich and people will love it and you love it too, and you put blood and sweat and tears into it, then there are all kinds of things that may affect that. Maybe you need to add more internal links to that page. Maybe you need to tweak it around a bit with your titles and your headings and other places on the post to make it more unique and to make Google understand it better. You can usually, if there's a technical issue and you use site inspection or go to Search Console and you use URL inspection, Google will tell you if there's a technical issue with that page. If you don't see a technical issue with it, then try tweaking your content and try strengthening that page, that content, that product, whatever, with internal links and tweaking it a bit. But again, not every page is index worthy. I'd also like to add that regardless of any CMS, Google is becoming more and more wary of indexing pages. It's about, saving resources. The web is humongous and it keeps going exponentially. So Google sometimes has to make those decisions. Is it important enough? Is it good enough for it to be in my index? So usually it's not a technical issue. Usually it's about a quality bar that you need to pass in a way. So I would focus, after I see that they don't have technical issues with my page, I would focus on tweaking and improving the content on that page. And that happens if you feel that page should be indexed and it's index worthy, you can always come to Google and ask them on the forums, because though there are many complex systems involved in indexing and deciding whether a page should be indexed, and sometimes things just don't work as well. So that's also something you could do about that.
And just to pick up on a couple of things, there's that Nati mentioned there. So internal linking is a fantastic tool for showing Google that you think that this content is really important. And we have a webinar within the Wix SEO Learning Hub, which is at wixseo.com/SEO/learn/webinars. You can see a great internal linking webinar there. There's also a webinar about blog distribution, which works for really any content. So that's another way that you can show Google that a piece of content that you've made is really important by sharing it through lots of different channels so that Google can see it, not just on your website, but on lots of different spaces as well. So yeah, it's one of those things that, as Nati says, you pour the blood, sweat, and tears in there. You also have to make sure that you show Google that it's important to you. Wix has some great tools for helping you to distribute your content and also for helping you to do internal linking as well, which was another improvement that we didn't actually get to in our presentation today. But yeah.
Exactly. I want to answer this question, and it kind of rolls into something that I see thematically throughout the question and answer section here. I want to talk more about SEMrush, but actually Julie asked about low code to HTML ratios. And now SEO audits, this is a sticking point for me, will often come back, SEMrush included, with that warning. I used to work for SEMrush, and I actually used to recommend to them that they get rid of that, because Google's John Mueller has come out multiple times saying, please, SEO tools, get rid of that. That's not a real thing at all. So if you see that in a site audit, please ignore it. It has nothing to do with anything. Google does not look at it in any way, shape, or form. They've been saying that for years already. And Google's John Mueller, who's their search advocate, is pretty adamant and almost to the point where he's upset about it. With that, let's talk more about the SEMrush integration. That's seamless right there. I've seen questions about if I have a account with SEMrush, I'm a paying client of SEMrush, do I get more access to the tool? If I have clients at SEMrush, can I import their data into the Wix integration? How does that work? Einat, I feel we kind of have to flesh out what's going on with the SEMrush integration.
So the SEMrush integration, if you're a free user, then you're free, you create an account and you get the free quota. If you are only a premium user or a paying user, so you get everything that your account is eligible for. So if you have the unlimited version, then you get the unlimited version in the SEMrush. There is no, you cannot export data of clients because it's the antibodies from the checklist, so you can use your keywords for this checklist. So I think that's it. It's really based on your account on SEMrush. If you're free, you get a free one, and if you have an account, you get everything that you get with this account also inside Wix.
Yeah.
And it's a great tool. So we have it as part of the SEO setup checklist, but you can return to it after, like if you're let's say you're writing a blog and you want to do a little bit of keyword research, you can go back to this tool. It's currently sits in the Wix SEO checklist setup checklist, but it will soon be as part of the overall dashboard. But you can go back to it and you can do 10 searches a day. So for instance, let's say you're writing a blog all about huskies, then you could look up the types of, like, you could do some keyword research on different
hair off of your shirt.
How to get husky hair off of your shirt. You can do another keyword research on.
You do not, as a husky owner, you do not.
Nati has a husky, for the record.
Yeah.
You could also do keyword research on like different kinds of food they might eat, or the different, I don't know, what kinds of care they need, all of those sorts of things. So you could do 10 searches, and then you can go into your blog and you can optimize your content as you need to, based on some of those tools. I also saw somebody who said something about whether or not their keywords were hard, and that can sometimes mean that you're looking at maybe a head keyword, for instance. A head term is something that they talk about. So, for instance, if you think about something sort of like dogs,
Pizza.
Dogs is a big keyword. There's lots and lots of people talking about dogs, and if you get down to something like what breed of husky do you have, Nati? We're talking about Nati's dog today. I don't know why.
Siberian husky.
Siberian husky, exactly. So that's a more refined term, and so that will be less hard than a big term. So if you think about something that's that gets a little bit more into the details of exactly what you're talking about, then you're less likely to have a hard keyword.
And that goes back to what we were talking about before, where you really want to target the specific questions and needs of the users. So if you're talking about dog, it's kind of vague. It's not really going to speak to anyone's particular problems, like Nati. And the problems with his Siberian Husky's hair all over his shirt every day is not going to find the relevant information he needs when you search for dog. But if your page is optimized for Siberian Husky care, that would speak to Nati's needs. So when you're focused on the specific needs of the users, you're going to end up choosing a keyword focus that's a little bit more able to be ranking or less competitive or less overly competitive on the results page on Google. It's a circle of keywords.
It's a circle of keywords. And it's great to have those kinds of tools in the Wix CMS.
Yes. Someone was asking about the code inside of the structured data we create automatically for you. How could you see what's included in there? And that question is definitely for Einat.
So you can see it is with the structure data that is being created in the SEO settings. You can go to the SEO settings, open the structured data panel there, and you can click on edit, and you will see the preset of everything that is defined over there. And you can convert it if you want. If you want to add things that are missing, you can convert it to your own code and add whatever you need.
It's a great panel because it does the validation for you. So with structured data, it is code. So if you put a comma in the wrong place, or you put a colon in the wrong place, or you use the wrong kind of quotation marks, which is another thing that people don't realize, there's one quotation mark that goes like this, and there's another that goes like that, and one's valid and one isn't.
But why? Why does it exist?
So annoying. I've seen that. But the tool will give you a little pop-up that says not quite right, have another try, which is really good. And the other thing is if you decide that you want to craft your own structured data and you're like, I'm going to make my own, and let's say it doesn't quite work out, which sometimes happens, then you can always go back to the preset. The preset is always there. The preset always works and you can't lose it. So that's really, really useful. So you have both the freedom to do what you like and also the security that will help you if you need to start again.
Amazing. And to answer Ivan, who I just saw pop up in the Q&A, I said to ignore low code to HTML ratio, the site audit tools often report back on. It is a sticking point for me. Someone as I love this question. I've thought about this before. Why is sometimes the analytics data inside of Wix Analytics, does it not match up to Google Analytics? So this is an important point about data in general, that no data provider, whether it be Google themselves, is providing 100% accurate data that are the exact numbers of exactly what's happening. For example, in this particular case, the way we scrub out bots and the way Google Analytics scrubs out bots, the algorithms that we have to scrub out those bots are different. So that's one of the reasons why the numbers that you're going to see in Google Analytics and in Wix Analytics might be different, because we're just scrubbing out those bots in a different way. So look at the overall trends and where things are going, and the ballpark numbers, as opposed to like the exact numbers when it comes to any SEO data that you're looking at.
And also think about your configuration. So in Google Search Console, you can exclude certain IPs, you can exclude certain people who are looking at the website. And let's say maybe you haven't excluded your own IP, or you haven't excluded yourself from within Wix data, then that might show up in a different way, or someone within your team, or that sort of thing. So there's a few different things to think about. But yeah, Morty's right. Think about the trends overall.
Yep. One more question, I think. What is the best and easy way to address orphan pages?
Links.
Internal links. Internal links, by the way, if that's a term that you're not familiar with, that's when you, instead of linking to another website, you're linking to another page on your own website. So let's say, for example, in a blog post that I write, I link to one of the products that I'm offering because I'm talking about that product in the blog post, so I link to it. That's an internal link. And Google follows those links. They read your blog post, they see the link there, like, oh, there's another page there. You link to it. Let's go to that page. And if you link to pages often enough, this is actually a problem in other CMSs, the way they're structured sometimes, Google will think that page is really important, which sometimes is exactly what you want. And sometimes it's not what you want because that page isn't super important to you. So when you internally link to other pages on your website, it's basically a way of saying, on one foot to explain this, it's basically a way of showing Google that that page that you're linking to all the time is really, 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 really vital to that website.
And I think also going back to Nati's previous point about like some pages not needing to be indexed, not every page that's an orphan page is a problem. So sometimes when you have a page that is for an ad campaign, for instance, you might have it only as an ad campaign page. Or let's say it's a page that is like a landing page for an affiliate site, or maybe it's a thank you page for something. It might be, or for an email or something. It might be the case that you don't actually need links from your website to that page. It's more of it serves a purpose for your business, but maybe doesn't necessarily serve a purpose for search.
And I think
I hope the next questions is about, are we going to watch the World Cup now?
Nati stole my thunder. I think we're going to have to call it a day, evening, and afternoon, depending on your time zone. Thank you so much, Nati and Einat. This is really nice to have you here and talk about all the amazing things that you've done for our users.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on, and thank you everyone that attended. We love you.
Again, the session was recorded, so you'll get a email with that. We do have more webinars coming where you can learn more about SEO. Due to the holiday schedule, I think we're picking that back up again in February, but you can also watch the previous webinars we did over on the Wix SEO Learning Hub.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.